evening, everyone. Treasure Troller here from the militant state of Michigan, where Gretchen Whitmer, our governor and dictator, enacted a law specifically targeting me, Treasure Troller, so I can no longer drive and vlog at the same time. A couple things before we get going. I know it's been like a week. I actually did do a vlog, but I didn't post it. But some of it's kind of the same that we're going to talk about tonight, and just a little added. First thing is those, the quick one-liner is the auto workers. Some of the plants went on strike. I only hope and pray to God it's the plants that make those ridiculously bright and obnoxious headlights. Maybe they can stop production on those fucking things for a little bit. So my my night vision comes back. It's not a constant blur. We have 5 murder book vlogs ready to go. 4 of them are just waiting on their thumbnails. The Rembrandt of thumbnails is doing them. I think they'll be ready here in a couple of days. And then 3 more will be submitted for the thumbnail artiste to get those done. So we're going to have a few new vlogs. So we'll get to the main topics. What I was going to talk about last week was that Susanna Gibson, the Democratic candidate, I believe in Virginia, that her and her husband went on Chatterbait and were performing acts for tips. And she was, I guess, using the tip money for her campaign. And she started calling it, kind of below the belt. Yes, below the belt. Kind of dirty politics. Kind of, just the stuff that happens all the time. Almost considering it like a revenge porn, falling under the revenge porn statutes. I don't have a problem with what she did. I don't care. I sort of only care that first, I didn't know about this on Chatterbait. Like I would have spent the money anyways. I didn't know about it. And second of all, how she didn't think this was going to come out. How actually she actually is that naive to think that she could have done this and it not come out sometime during the election campaign. I mean, that's just stupid. But if I was Virginia, I'd be more concerned about, I'd be less concerned about what she does with her husband on camera and more concerned about what she does with her clothes on when it has to do with, I don't know, like these transgender days and how she feels about young kids transitioning and should we give them meds and if their parents should know, and gun laws and taxes. I would be more concerned about that than I would be what she does with her clothes off. The other part was, I was kind of making some reference to, this was between 2 consenting adults, and there was actually some Democratic, she had some support from some higher level Democrats trying to make this into a money grift for her. Sorry about that. It looks a little crooked to me. Trying to make it a money grift for her, and I'm thinking this was like between consenting adults, what they were doing, and if you don't have a problem with that, why do you have a problem with consenting adults in Moscow peeing on a hotel bed? I couldn't quite see why you'd have a problem with that. But then along comes Lauren Boebert. and her date at the theater. Now, I'm kind of old, the guys that catch her on film, they catch them on film. He's going after those puppies. Those puppies were, she was letting the girls hang out that night, and he went for it. So I'm a little bit old school, and they thought that was, maybe a little bit obnoxious and overly, maybe explicit in sort of public like that. But I'm a little bit old school, and I thought that's what movie theaters were for. Movie theaters were about making out, getting to second base. At the very least, second base. It was pretty tough to push third base in a movie theater. Not a lot of room between seats and stuff like that. So, I mean, I got to give the guy props for going to second base. I mean, Lauren, she just seems like when she gets a little bit too much to drink, she seems like she's like one of those loud and obnoxious drunks. She's just like a loud and obnoxious drunk. She does the hand gestures and stuff, But like, once again, how do you go to a theater? How do you go out in public and not think some of this shit is going to get back? But I think Lauren's bigger problem, the biggest problem she's going to have, and speaking from someone that's been divorced, is that the kids are with their dad in Colorado, and really no matter what she does or how nice she is, the kids are always going to see her as the bitch that left her father. So I think she really needs to focus on spending time with her kids and less time, out grabbing guys' crotch in the movie theater. So the last thing is, talking about football, I was watching the Colorado State game, and although they first started talking about some of the Rock was going to be there and a few celebrities, and then they started talking about these rap musicians that were there. And the first thing that came to my mind was Pete Carroll when he was at USC. I mean, Snoop Dogg came there, Will Ferrell came there. It was more like football and USC alum that came there. But I don't think it was uncommon to see some rather high-profile celebrities, at the practice field at USC. But then one of the announcers made some sort of comment like the BET network kind of was there, and I go, oh, well, this is a little bit more. And I knew it was Colorado State, and Colorado State, for the most part, Colorado should not have a problem handling Colorado State. And that's one of the reasons why it was on national television. I mean, this was a Mountain Time Zone game that started at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I mean, this was a late game. But I guess what I've really come to the conclusion is, and this is Boulder, Colorado, which is 99% white. And kind of looking at it, Deion really isn't a football coach. Deion is like a brand. He's like the, I think it was 2 Live Crew. I don't know. I think it was 2 Live Crew. He's the hype guy. He's the hype guy of a rap group. He doesn't sing. He doesn't write songs. He's not the human beatbox. He runs around the stage with a big clock around his neck and gets people haying and hoeing. That's what Deion is. He brings in, good coaches to run the offense and defense and stuff. And I started thinking about that, and I was driving to work last night, and I had to go through Baldwin, and right next door is Idlewild. And some of you have probably seen the Idlewild movie, but they used to call it the Black Eden. And back in the 50s to maybe early 60s, it was the place to be. It was a resort for Black America. I mean, the population probably went from Idlewild back then maybe 200 to 300 people to 30,000 people. They had some of the best music entertainment groups to come in. Here's a list of some of them. Aretha Franklin is on there. I think Sammy Davis too. I'd have to look again, but some of the greatest black artists came there. They had trains that ran there. Out of Grand Rapids and Chicago and whatnot. You could catch train Chicago and then up through Grand Rapids. It was a place to be. It was a place to be until segregation ended and the Jim Crow laws ended. And that killed Idlewild. All the black businesses, property stopped selling there. Some of the most well-known and wealthy black individuals stopped coming to Idlewild. Idlewild turned into a ghost town. And to this day, it's a ghost town. Just nothing there. I mean, residents live there. There still is a nice lake there. Some remnants of the old Idlewild are there. But somebody had, and now I'm sure they didn't realize that Jim Crow laws was going to end and segregation was going to end. But they had an idea. They brought in the brand of Black Eden, and then they didn't have to leave Detroit and Chicago to go to bars, and they could go to the resort towns like Miami and Vegas after Jim Crow laws ended. And I sort of feel like Deion is kind of like Black Eden, where it's this idea, and all of a sudden, Boulder, Colorado is the place to be. I mean, it certainly is better than Jackson, Mississippi, but it's the place to be until, well, someone says it's okay for you to go somewhere else. I mean, a lot's expected of Colorado and Deion. Much was given. Much is going to be expected. And if it doesn't happen, he'll try to find another place to go where he can take that brand, maybe a higher profile university where he can get better players. But I just sort of see the same thing happening with Boulder, in that it's turned into a Black Eden, and it'll be a Black Eden until Deion leaves, and then the Eden will leave, and there'll still be a nice, great college university there, but it'll just go back to being what it was. It's not there to stay, and it won't last forever. So this is Treasure Troller saying aloha and good day.